All right, people, we're back. We're back. I'm Alexi Pappas, and this is the segment of Mentor Buffet called Help Me Please, where I answer your questions. As a reminder, subscribing is very, very helpful and wonderful. And if you have a question that you'd like to hear the answer to, please DM it directly to the Mentor Buffet Instagram account. Okay, let's get into it. So, first question. Megan, who's 32 from New York, says, I wake up every day anxious. I feel like I'm in a rush to get things done and accomplish. I know the feeling. I feel like I'm never relaxed. How do I reprogram my nervous system to be calmer as the default setting? So anxiety, I learned this thing about anxiety that it is meant to help you, right? When you're actually in danger, like it's something that wakes you up if there is like literally that bear chasing you, you know, the stories, or like a car coming across the street when you're crossing. A lot of times when I feel anxiety, it's just an unfelt feeling. So I'm not in real danger in the present, but there's something really under the surface going on. I get anxiety after all my episodes that I record here because I'm sitting with people I maybe never met. I really admire them. You know, we're trying to get to a deeper place. And then I leave the studio and I feel this anxiousness. And I have to tell myself that there's no real threat. Nothing actually went wrong. And that there might be an unfelt feeling. And so I'll be driving home or in the shower and I will let myself feel the feeling and let what I feel like is my brain and my heart connect, and then the feeling can pass and it can dissolve, or I can acknowledge it and say, that's sweet that I felt that way, but it's not probably the reality. Like my worst fear of it, that this person hated sitting with me, is probably not true. And if I'm still not convinced, I'll be like, and what if it is true? Who cares? You know, you have to get to a calm enough place to play out what the feeling might really be. And then the feeling will either pass, or if you really have a fear or something going on and you explore it further, like what if this really is true? Then what? There's still a path forward. The point is that anxiety often freezes you. And what your job is to find a way where you can keep moving. Because even if you have a fear that is coming out with your anxiety, it doesn't mean that you're stuck. But the anxiety can freeze you. And so you have to disarm the anxiety and either fix the problem right there. If there's a bear chasing you, get away from it. Or set aside time to talk through what the emotion is underneath your anxiety and find a path forward, because there always is a path forward. When you really feel an unfelt feeling, oftentimes your like brain and your heart connect, and then you realize that yes, the feeling was real, but there's no reason that you have to keep feeling it. And movement, I think, dissipates anxiety. Action dissipates anxiety. It may not feel good right away. So sometimes I wake up really, really anxious, but I say, can I go and brush my teeth? Can I still put the clothes on today that make me feel my absolute best, even though I don't feel so great right now? Is there something I can do when I don't feel so great? And start small and let yourself slowly move out through action. Taking the anxiety with you like you're holding like a kid's hand through like a dark hallway. I'm also like a very big believer in like a very peaceful morning routine, so that no matter what, if I'm anxious, I still make this very special latte. I light candles. I put on the most like peaceful, empowering outfit that I have, which is different for every day. It's like it feels different. I open the doors and feel the breeze, and I play with my animals. Like animals will take you out of other world land and bring you like right here into their weird present, and that's a really good thing to do. You also say you're in a rush to get things done and accomplish, so it seems like you have a to-do list that you can never fully address and you always feel behind. I feel that way too sometimes, and what I've started doing is I make a list of must do, would love to do, and like in a dream world I do. And these are things I have to actually get done. And I make that list the night before so that when I wake up, I know I have a whole day to take on those things. And then at the end of the day, I account for what has not gotten done. And if it's a must get done, sometimes you got to stay up late and get it done so that you don't wake up with that anxiety. Yeah, make that list. Ground it in reality. Don't let it live inside your chest and your body and your head like a cloud. That's the thing about anxiety, is it lives like a cloud until you ground it. And also, if you are never getting your must get done list done every day, if you never get it done, then you're asking too much of yourself, and you need to build a reasonable set of expected goals every day so that most of the time you're accomplishing your must get done. Some and a lot of the time you're doing that middle tier, and maybe rarely you're getting your dream list fully completed. Because if you're asking yourself to do the must-dos every day and you're never getting it done, you're living an unsustainable practice, and that would give anyone anxiety forever. Gunnar, who's 26, says, I need an actionable step-by-step plan on how to break up with my girlfriend. We've been together for 4 years. I've known that our relationship needs to end for a while now. We live together. She financially depends on me. Every conversation turns into some kind of a debate, and she always comes out on top. I feel like what I'm trying to say never comes across. I literally don't know how to begin telling her that I need to break up with her. What's the first step? Well, Gunnar, if you're certain, then this isn't a conversation, it's a decision. And if you are anything like me, when you get mixed up between those things, you are easily confused, convincible, scared, guilty, all these things, and you end up turning a decision into a conversation that's not a conversation at all. When I get in these situations, I write down what I'm going to say. I write a script, and I shamelessly bring it into the meeting, the get together. I present it, and I ask if I can read it, and then I read it, and it's very clear. And I have, outside of the context of this high pressure face-to-face situation, really worked on the words, and I believe every word, and I stand by every word. So I'm prepared, and I go in and I deliver the news of this decision. And I make an agreement with myself, and I even write within the text that this is the decision. I don't want to talk about it. And I try to, make it as thoughtful and kind as possible, but ultimately it needs to be very clear. If you don't feel like you can do that in person, you can also deliver the letter and make it very thoughtful, handwritten. If you really can't do something in person, you can give someone a letter, and that is perfectly reasonable.
Why might he not want to do it in person?
If you know that you're vulnerable to not keeping your feet on the ground with your decision, or not being able to hold your confidence when someone else gets emotional about a decision that's best for you, then maybe you don't want to be in person. It doesn't feel good to tell someone news that they don't want to hear. It's very hard, and it's especially if you care about someone. And so sometimes the kindest thing you can do is also say your piece really, really honestly, and then give them the space to even process it on their own without you there. Because if you have a pattern of not being able to come to resolution together that is best for you, that's not good for them either. And it's okay that somebody's might feel pain about something that's best for you, as long as you're not trying to hurt them. You're trying to be honest. You need to be honest too, because that's your duty to yourself and to your partner. If you need help with the words, you should ask for help. Not everyone's good with words, and words mean they're very powerful. So if you need help, talk to a friend who is good with words, and make sure it feels true to you. But the point of this letter is not just that it resonates with you. The point is that the other person understands your truth and your decision. So you want to try and make it honest, but also very clear for them. The goal is that they understand. And if they respond, you're there to listen, but you don't have that much more to say. You already said it. It's never going to feel good. So don't expect it to, for you or for them. And if you're certain, then you have to do it. If you're certain about not wanting to be with this person, then it is the best thing for both of you. And that's like a thing you have to kind of like absorb and believe is true. Like if you do not want to be in this, even if this person says they want to be with you, the higher truth is that that's not good for them either. If it's not good for you, it's not actually good for your partner. And it seems like also you have this pattern of like, it always turns into a debate. You always get convinced and it's like, okay, you need to change the game that you go in and play with this person, which is why I'm suggesting writing something down and reading it, because that's something different. That's saying we're actually not here to talk about this. I'm here to report something that is true for me. It will take less courage and strength for you to simply read something than it will take to find the words in real time with a person who's trying to tell you otherwise. So I'm like highly encouraging you to write something down, because it will help you go back to this. Like if you freak out, this is what it is. You can't let yourself word vomit in another direction or be convinced or like go down a spiral, or like that's also your discipline before you go into this conversation, is to say, this is the truth for me and this is the truth for me no matter what happens in this room. And what's best for me is what's best for the relationship, and what's best for the relationship is what's best for my partner. So it is good for both of you that you tell the truth. Most of the work you do, kind of like in running, is done before you get to the start line. So do your work before you get there. Prepare yourself for what you expect to happen, and give yourself a little bit of grace if it's not like a perfect interaction, because it's going to be hard. If another person doesn't want to break up with you when you want to break up with them, they're just scared, and they might be mad, and they might be disappointed, and they might feel all these things. That doesn't mean that they should be with you, but they're not going to realize that till later. And also the truth is really good. I've really come to realize like the truth is really good. The truth it used to feel way more painful than it felt for me, because like you get a rejection. I get rejected all the time. I got rejected today, and you feel bad because you're like, wait, it could have been different, or I don't know. But then you're like, wait a minute. There's so much harmony in the world and so much can go right that when things are not a fit, it's actually really good to know, because there's so many more places where things are going to feel harmonious and good. And it's better for you to know what things aren't good as soon as you can know them. And as soon as you know something isn't for you, to move away from it as gracefully and firmly as you can. And once you start accepting that the truth is good, life gets so much better. And paired with that, this is a big one. You need to know this, Gunner. The truth is going to change. So just because you committed to a person years ago and thought it was perfect then, and then it changed, that doesn't mean it wasn't true at one point. You're just different, and you've grown and changed. So what's true for you is also going to grow and change. So you need to like not think that anything that was true yesterday has to be true today, because you are a different person, and that's going to keep happening. So stay alive, stay alert, don't be active in your life. And this is a good thing. You realize the truth. Now you're going to act on it. It's really good. This is like the number one growing up thing is like truth is good. Truth is safe. Truth is light. Truth is like, the truth is good. The other thing is that the truth is not necessarily convenient right now. So like oftentimes the truth can lead to change, and that can be really inconvenient. Like if you realize this job isn't for you, or this place you live, or this person is not the right person for you, it's very inconvenient because it means you have to like go through sometimes a really big physical shift and mental shifts and change, joint passwords. Like there's so much stuff that kind of sucks about it, but that's what comes with the territory. That's like saying that when I want to run faster, that is really inconvenient that I have to sleep 10 hours or that I have to like stretch my legs or go get a massage. It's like, I'm sorry, it just goes with it. It's totally worth it. And you're capable of doing those changes. They're just inconvenient. And what's to come is going to be so much more convenient for your heart, if you think about it that way, than whatever you're feeling right now with this jerking conflict going on. Time and energy is very expansive in a way that you can't quite know. So whatever it's going to take to move yourself through this and into your truth in reality isn't going to cost you what you think it costs anyway. So if you're trying to quantify and do like a math equation with the whole like geography of what you're about to do, just don't do that. That's like a young person thing to do, to think you know more than you know. What you do know is that you're not going to be with this person, and that's all you know. But to know is good. Okay, I'm going to ask you again, please subscribe to Mentor Buffet anywhere you listen to podcasts and write your questions into the Mentor Buffet Instagram. That's Help Me Please with Mentor Buffet. I'm Alexi Pappas. Thank you for listening.